Well, this movie has taught me two things. First, I want that talking cat, robot, whatever that thing is. And secondly, meat, bread, meat. Hi, welcome back to another review. It's been a while since I did a video. I think the last time you saw me on my face and talking to the camera officially was earlier this year. First episode of Star Trek Picard, and then suddenly I dropped off the face of the earth. That's a story for another video. Right now I'm focusing on the Lightyear movie, the Buzz Lightyear movie. I just call it Buzz Lightyear movie. It's called Lightyear, but we all know what it's about. So yeah, I watched it on Disney Plus, very calmly in my comfy chair. I'm pointing there because that's my comfy chair, for people who don't know. I watched it without expectations. I watched it without like zero expectations. Like, I'm just gonna sit in this movie and just like enjoy it. I will not go into the big spoiler things because there's a few spoilers in there I will not reveal, so don't worry if you watch this video. You will not get spoiled. Your viewing experience will still be intact. Sort of. Yeah, this movie starts off really great. It feels like a really genuine Pixar movie. It starts with this adventure, big round circular, I'm just gonna call it a boob ship. It looks like a boob, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call it like that. I know it's probably a 60s design or something like that, but it just looks like that. Crashes down on an alien planet, lands sort of, and we find out vegetation, like the vines, not the vines like before TikTok, real vines, are very lethal and attacking people basically. So yeah, and then we see these bug things, and for a few seconds I was like, is Disney gonna pull off an alien movie now that they like taking over Fox Studios, you know, 20th Century Fox? I'm like, are they gonna take it over? Are they gonna make their own version of it? I'm like, nah, come on, this is Disney. It's Disney. They will never. No, and they have to run back to the ship because I think it's a colony ship. There's a lot of sleeping parts everywhere, so they have to run back to the ship, try to get it to launch. But then it starts with Buzz, I'm just gonna call it Buzz or Buzz Lightyear, his story arc basically. His story arc through the whole movie is very consistent, like it's very much progression. That's the good thing about this movie, like it's definitely a story arc. And it starts in the beginning, like we have this rookie guy that somehow shows up in the middle of that field with the vines. I'm like, where did he come from? Yeah, he shows up and of course doesn't get killed off, don't get me wrong, it's not going that dark, you know. But it's just, you know, it's like, oh, okay, you're the red shirt of this movie for some reason. They try to get off the ship with the new guy, with the rookie guy they call him, I think. He tries to get off to the ship and he's like, okay, I can do this, and even the woman and the new guy is like, you need help. You need, you know, probably two pair of hands just pulling up. Like a plane, you know, you have to pull up, not to get, you know, hit the runway basically. Hits the side of the mountain, sort of crashes down, the ship crashes down badly, like it's just bad, you know. It's like if you just taking the rookie's advice and let them help, at least with pulling up, they got off to the planet easily. They don't. We get a nice montage of them landing and sort of progressing, like we have a small time-lapse thing, seeing how the planet evolves with that boob thing in the middle. I'm sorry, just gonna call it boob thing in the middle, and they needed some sort of fuel to get off, so to get home again. I'm assuming it's Earth. I'm just assuming, you know, it's never actually mentioned, I think, or I missed it. We need to get back to Earth, and he does a launch basically. He has like, oh, we have this thing that's 80%, 82% workable. So he tries. He does a slingshot around the sun with this to see how he can go to light speed basically. We all know, well, most geeks know, when you slingshot around the sun, trying to do at least towards light speed, you get basically what happens in the movie. You get a time travel aspect. You go around the sun, but because of the gravitational pull of the sun, where you slingshot around, basically you're going very slow around the sun. Well, the planet time goes faster than you because you're still in the gravitational pull of the sun. The gravity on the sun is so immense that you will go slow. You feel like you don't go slow, but you are, because time is slowing down. And when he gets off the sun's pole, goes to a nice action scene, you know, drops the fuel, and basically goes to the ring, slows down and lands, and finds out he's, like I predicted a bit, time traveled. Because, you know, the slingshot effect, basically, in science. And he lands, we find out he time traveled. There's a nice emotional scene. We see his female co-pilot from the beginning of the movie has a nice connection to him, and it's like, oh yeah, that's nice. And we see, oh, 4 years have passed, which, oof, I'm like, a lot of time, like, to be missing. We see him come back to Squirrels, and the kitty thing is that kitty thing, like, ooh, sorry, the kitty thing is cute as hell. It's cute, it's robot kitty, and it has like a little robot mouse. I think it's robot mouse, I don't remember moving it, but it just had a robot mouse. And it's very important to the story for some reason. I don't know, I didn't expect that kitty thing to be that important to the story. Guess what? No, and then we have this whole montage of him not getting over the guilt of basically crashing the boob ship. I'm just gonna call it boob ship. I'm sorry, YouTube, if you censor me. I'm sorry for that. So he had this whole guilt trip, basically his story arc of like, it's my responsibility to get everybody off this planet. So he tests out a few times with the fuel. But the problem with that is, again, it's every time you do the slingshot effect, how fast you try to go around the sun, the gravitational pull will make it go slower. So every time he does it, I don't know if we've seen every attempt, and I think there were a few more because the time progresses really nicely. We see this nice time-lapse segment of the movie, basically. We see the female captain progressively getting older. And every time we see her, she progresses in life. She met, and this is why the movie is for some reason banned in a few countries, she met a female officer. You know, great, she found some love within the colony and everything. And we get this like whole montage, and we get this infamous pack, like a small kiss. It's a pack. People, it's 1 second, it's 24 frames. That's it. A pack. It doesn't go on for longer. It's like literally a pack, door closes and we don't see it anymore. And for some reason people get triggered by that. I'm like, indeed, montage, and after this montage he tries to do it again. But we found out that the female captain has died, of course, old age and everything. We had this beautiful, I mean, I was in tears. This beautiful little hologram message from her, old age and everything, and they try to do the, you know, infinity and beyond thing with the finger thing. I was like, oh, that's a nice scene. And I have to give it credit. This whole movie looks nice. Like the cinematography and the lighting and just the shot itself looks pretty. I'm liking it. It looks pretty as hell. So like they can't barely tell because it's a hologram, you know, it's a hologram message. So yeah, and we found out she has a granddaughter, which is great. Positivity for LGBT members, like again, showing yes, we can have children, grandchildren, we start a normal family. That's amazing. Disney, thank you for sticking with your guns and going through with us. Then he's trying to do it one more last time. He found out the formula from the kitty thing. Apparently the kitty thing has figured it out, because in the first loop he said to the kitty, oh, figure out this mad problem with the fuel. So the kitty does it. You know, it's like a robot, he just calculates everything. He finds the perfect formula. They're gonna try to do it again. They break into the launch bay, do the whole mixing with the liquids apparently. He steps on I think the console, the computer thing, so he only has one attempt. So the whole formula, why it's not stored inside the kitty thing, like in his memory bank, I don't get that. Like, why is it not stored in there? Don't tell me like you saw it on the computer kitty and then you forgot to store it into your own memory banks, which is a bit weird, but for the plot I think. So he tries to do it again, but again this new general that comes into play, replacing the female captain, the co-worker, or female captain, whatever you want to call it. It's really militaristic, like he wants to do a defense shield around a laser grid, which yes, logical, with all these creatures outside and everything. It's basically death trap the whole planet. Get it, why? The Buzz tries to do it again, you know, and the perfect formula, it works 100% according to the calculations. So he attempts it. He succeeds, but again, traveling to time so fast that he ends up, I think, far in the future. I think the granddaughter, when he meets, when he lands, apparently has grown up to be the same age as the co-worker in the beginning of the movie. And we have this, and to me, I'm sorry, this is the only weak part of the movie for me, and I think the beginning was stronger, and then at the end it's just, we have this ragtag group of, I think, supposed to be militaristic, military group, but they're like outcasts, you know. One is very clumsy, basically fucks up everything in the whole movie. He hits that button, oops, we're in this thing. He hits this lever, oops, we're in this thing. Like, it's voiced by Taika Waititi, I hope I pronounced his name right. And I don't mind him as a voice actor, and you know, it works somehow, the voice, so go for it. But the whole ragtag team doesn't get developed as much as I hoped it would be. I don't know if the one time or just writing. The only one that in that team, that's the granddaughter, the clumsy one. I really forgot her name, that's how unimportant they were. We have this robot, which we don't see the fate of. We see him, you know, getting stranded in base or something, and we don't see what happens to him afterwards. So, what the hell happened there? And we see this old woman, I think it's supposed to be old woman, because again, there's so little characterization in that ragtag team that I'm like, where is it? Where's the characterization of this? So yeah, it worked for me somewhat, and I was like, give them a bit more, you know, three-dimensional writing to it. But anyway, that's just a nitpicking thing for me. They figure it out. They, you know, want to go up to the ship. There's apparently a ship in orbit, Zorg, yeah, I'm saying this right, hope, that they want to blow up so to free the colonists down below. It's basically an action movie thing, like if you blow up the ship, everybody gets free. So basically like a little bit Star Wars reference there, Disney. I see what you did there. And they go up the ship, they get chased a few times, like, oh, we're gonna go up the ship at this thing. The clumsy guy destroys it. I'm like, okay. They go to this base, which is direct reference to aliens. Like the whole cocoon thing on the ceiling scene, I was like, that's aliens. Guys, you can't fucking say it's not aliens. Disney, you try to make aliens for a kids movie. I get it. I see what you did there. Good one on you. He fucks it up again. Like, this character of Taika Waititi's voice, it gets annoying after a few times. I'm like, I get it, he's clumsy, but if that's his only characterization in this movie, I'm like, you could have done better. You could have done a little bit more why he's clumsy, why he's insecure about stuff, and develop him a bit more, you know, and give him a bit more of a character growth. When they finally get up to the ship by using sort of a transporter pad, and Zorg goes down, and he gets Buzz Lightyear, and they go up his ship, the whole reveal happens, which I'm not going to talk about, because that is for the people that haven't seen the movie yet. And we have, and I'm going to be honest, a way too long of a third act to get through. There's action upon action upon action upon, like it takes 6 steps where you can do easily 4 and still have a nice third act. It goes on a tiny bit too long, just a tiny bit. So we have this female character who's like afraid of space for some reason, and she jumps over to the other side. Nice moments, and it just goes on too far, and the old woman and the clumsy guy have to destroy a corridor, close it, and they succeed, but it's already too late. The ship got blown up anyway, so it's just like, you don't need that. If you can cut it out and trim it down with the pacing, it kind of works a bit smoother, if you know what I mean. So yeah, the reveal is good. The reveal of good who Zorg is wasn't unnecessary. It's good for Buzz Lightyear's character arc, because he finally learns to work with his ragtag team, and he allows them into his team somewhat, and he has a bit of character growth. But the reveal comes in a bit weird. It doesn't feel like it's earned, if you know what I mean. Like, oh, it's that person in Zorg. Like, where did that come from? If you do one more pass at the script, you know, a little bit more fine-tuning it, you can have a bit of better character development, and the reveal will be much better in the end. No, but they defeat Zorg and his ship. The ship gets blown up, and they land on the planet, which is a nice touch, which the wings finally pop out, like the Buzz Lightyear wings, which is a nice touch. That was cool. It was used properly to lift the ship up, to land it safely onto the planet. It's a cool thing, and the ending is like, oh, we start up Star Command basically all the way up, but then on that planet where the boob ship is. I'm sorry, I'm just calling it a boob ship. So basically they're setting up a potential sequel or a show, basically. Like, if there's not going to be a movie, it's going to be definitely a Disney Plus show. This movie could have done so much better. I would give it, for myself, I would not go to cinema for watching this, but I would say, if to be really critical on this, it's 6.5 out of 10. Why? If you fine-tune the script a bit better and make sure the dialogue is a bit more snappy, just a little bit more, and a bit more of a characterization of the ragtag team, so they have a little more of an identity in the movie. It would have been at least a 7 or 7.5, but because of that and the third act being too crowded with action scenes, if you're watching Disney Plus, go see it. I would not recommend it going to cinema and seeing it, because it's a good movie, but it's not worth paying the high cinema cost these days. It's not. I will try to do more with these movie reviews if I can, so please let me know what you like about this movie, if you've seen it. Be nice in the comment section, and you know, all the jazz down there. I'm seeing you in the next video. Well, to infinity and beyond. Well, I said it.